Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about some of the things I actually love about this machine. And my last video about this, about the 5 things I hate, has gotten a ton of views, at least a ton of views for my channel. And I figured, well, that's a lot of negative on something that I'm actually really enjoying owning. So might as well make some videos helping the folks out that are looking to buy one of these things to actually see what is good about them, some cool features, some built-in features, some things that I've really enjoyed owning, are reasons why I've enjoyed owning this and glad I picked it up when I did. So let's jump right into those. The plow system is actually something I really like in the way it works because I had an old Can-Am four-wheeler as a 2015, and the mounting solution for the four-wheeler was not great. You had to get the, I guess it'd be the plow frame underneath the four-wheeler, then you had to lift it up, and there was a pin on each side that you had to manually kind of crawl underneath, line up, and it was just a real pain in the butt. So this system's pretty cool. All you got to do when the plow is on the ground and it's not hooked up, attach the winch here. It's got this cool little pulley system that you basically, it's kind of hard to do one-handed, put in like this, and it has a little guide right here. So it would be like that with the pulley like this and the guide up on it. And again, this is before it's hooked up, but once you get it like that, all you got to do is winch in, and it just pulls it perfectly in line, and it allows it to snap into place. So the way it hooks up is with these big clamps right here on each side. So that the big clamp kind of just wraps around the finger that's sticking out there on the frame and hooks on, and you got one of those on each side, so it just slides right up, latches on those clamp on each side of the frame, and then you're good to go. You take this down, and then you are good to plow. And the way to get it off is all you gotta do is step on this pretty hard, and it'll drop from the frame, disconnect your winch, and you're good to go. That's number one. Number two is actually part of the same system, right? This has a built-in winch, and it is a 4,500 pound winch. It's a Can-Am HD 4500 for the model, and it is built in from the factory, wired in. You don't have to worry about any aftermarket stuff. Works really well, and pretty happy about that. Moving along to the interior, again, kind of sticking with the plowing theme for a second here, this is where your winch control is. So in and out, right next to the steering wheel, which is nice. So when you're plowing, you usually have the right hand on the steering wheel, and so you're kind of like this, and obviously plowing along, and your left hand is ready to go, and it's super easy to reach here, and you can just simply raise and lower the winch. I've seen some where they are kind of far away, like over here on different types of machines, or they have a remote, and the remote is kind of cool, but then you're kind of shuffling it around. You might lose it. I know somebody that personally has one, and they dropped it out of their machine on accident when they were getting out to adjust the plow, and then they lost it in the snow, and it was a pain in the butt. So I think placement is really well. Something I want to show you, a part of the plow system. So we'll raise it. To adjust the plow, I forgot to mention this, but all you got to do is push or pull, better yet, that back all the way, and then you can just kick it with your foot. Either direction, obviously, it goes left or right or center, and then you have that nice angle to plow with. Something that is super helpful up here. All right, let's jump back in the interior here. And something I love, obviously, is this interior. The brown and black, super, super nice. Got a couple hundred miles on this seat. It is extremely good shape, as you can see. Not worn at all. And it just looks super clean. Everybody that gets in here is always super impressed by that. But what I was actually mainly coming in here to talk about is a couple features. Obviously, you got your heat and AC here, and I don't have it on, so it's not blowing air on us, but 2 vents here, vent there, vent here, and then defrost up above by the windshield. And I did make a note of it in my 5 things I hate about this, that it's not very fancy, right? I mean, as you can see, it's just this little kind of setup. With that said, it's nothing better than when it's freezing cold or super hot, you get in here, turn it on, and you got heat and AC. Super cool, and something that I now can't live without. I'm spoiled. So sticking with the interior, that's something really cool, and I think everybody has one of these when you get a full cab, but this pops all the way out, and obviously you're not supposed to, drive very fast or anything like that. with it all the way out like that, but it is an option. And if you want to cruise around with some venting, all you got to do is, there's two latches, as you can see. So this is closed. Move it up to that latch there, and you can actually cruise around with it and just have it vented if you don't want the AC on, or, you know, for whatever reason you may desire. But it is an option, and I think that's kind of cool, and it seems to work really well. I opened it up quite a bit, and it always seems to seal up pretty good. Moving around to the back side of this unit, you will see this really large dump bed, and there's some details here which I won't bore you with all of them, but essentially what it's saying is that you can put 1,000 pounds of material in the back of this machine. And I have a YouTube short out where we filled this up with a bunch of manure that we were dumping on another side of my property over here, and we put a lot in there. I don't know the exact weight of what we put in, but we were using a tractor to put it in there, so it wasn't like we were hand scooping it, and it was a lot. It started to squat it a little bit, but it handled it just fine. So 1,000 pounds in the back of this thing, and they also claim that you can hook up and tow 2,500 pounds behind it, which I've not done yet, but I can tell you that what I have done with the bed has been super helpful and impressive. Something kind of cool. See, I got my sandbags and shovels in here for the snow, but they have 5-gallon bucket cutouts all the way through here with built-in tie downs on all the corners. So super useful bed if you're going to use it a lot. Again, that's not something I use all the time, but it is really helpful. And there is a this is kind of full, so I don't want to do it, but lever here and a lever on the other side. So no matter what side that you're working on the machine, you can pull the lever, and it has a dump bed that actually works really well and is super easy, even with a lot of weight in it. You start on the passenger side here. This is something kind of unique, or I don't know if unique's the right word, but helpful and kind of cool is their use of storage, right? So you lift up the seat here, you have this storage bin, which I keep good old Adams polishes, big rag towel in there, some extra gloves, some toe straps, bungees. Got some tools in there. So, I mean, there's a decent amount of storage. Clicks in. It also just lifts right out. So if you wanted to use this as, like, I don't know, food or something like that, if you're up in, you're doing some camping or light trail riding, you got some food in there, drinks, you can just grab it out and wash it out and take it outside, no problem. This is also a storage compartment that I keep some insurance stuff in, and basic information as well comes out, more of like a toolbox style. So I think that has been around for a little while, but I think it's kind of a cool feature that the folks that use these machines a little differently than me probably get some better use out of, but it is pretty cool. So a little bit of storage on the sides on each door, and then, you know, cup holders. This flips down as well, and there is some cup holders and small storage as well. So I think the storage in here for what it is. Oh, and I forgot, since we're on the passenger side, get on the driver's side, this flips up and there is a USB port in there. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think you can keep quite a bit of stuff. Now, I did mention that there is no locks on this machine in my last video, and so leaving things in there if you are out in public spaces is a little concerning, but nonetheless, you have the ability, I guess, to store stuff. So as you guys have seen and heard me talk about this machine, I really have just enjoyed using it for the plowing, right? Like, I think I've touched on that enough as it is. It is great plowing, and I could probably go on and on about other things, but I don't want to drone on too much there, right? So just know that if you are looking to buy one of these, especially for plowing, highly recommend it. And from the little bit I've got to work with it, you know, using the dump bed and kind of traversing some interesting terrain, it's been really cool, and I've really enjoyed it. I think people that are more like in the ranch space or are using these for hunting and other outdoor activities in the hills like I have behind me would be really happy to have one, and I think you'd enjoy it. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Haven't had anything bad enough for me to say otherwise. Hope you found this information on some of the stuff that's kind of cool and quirky, and things that have made me enjoy owning it. Catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy.